Well, good day, Michael here. Well, I'm going to try and get a video done today before it gets dark and before I get any more fish. So if I take off and there's no one here, it's because I've rushed down to bring in a fish, because yesterday I got 2 cod. One was 17 pound, one was 11 pound, and the 17 pound one was 750 centimeters, but very fat and very heavy. So between the 2 fish, I weighed 11 pound of fish fillet, which is pretty good. So that's all gone. Just now I've caught a carp. And so what I thought I would do today, while I still got some light. Oh, by the way, yesterday, this table's very unsteady and it's sloping downhill, making it difficult. So yesterday, the 2 big cod, I used this knife to actually fillet those fish. So it did a pretty good job, considering it's not a fillet knife, obviously. I have got one in the car now. But yesterday I did the whole thing with this. I didn't realise that I'd left it wet in the sheath. Well, the sheath was wet, I washed it. And so now it's got a little bit of rust on it, but not too bad. So that knife, it really did a good job, and this knife is great. If I could get this knife in 3V or something, this would be the ultimate knife for me. It's just the perfect size, shape, behind the edge thickness and whatever else, and it just did an excellent job. But I'm not going to use that today. I am going to use, I'm going to try and use this one. The Tassie Tassie Tiger H6, and I'm going to see how that goes today, skinning, filleting, and then skinning this particular knife. I've done a couple of reviews on that knife, and it's done a pretty good job in the past. It's not excellent edge retention, but because it's a hollow grind, it does get fairly sharp and fairly thin behind that edge, and therefore very sharp. So we'll see how it goes today on this tough carp that I'm about to do up. I'm going to process this and take it home for the cat. She loves the carp. Not many of us that live in this area like these carp. We do like the cod though, and so I'm pretty happy about yesterday. I couldn't film any of that last night because it got too dark. In fact, I couldn't even take a proper picture of me holding the fish. So I just had to put those on the board here with weights and whatnot, just to show what I caught. But it would have been nice to have a proper picture holding the fish up. Always makes it seem like they're bigger than what they are. So I missed out on doing that. I'm going to have to duck down a bit here. The table's too low. See what I'm doing. So it's a very bloody fish. I didn't bleed it. I only just caught it. And for the, oh, look at the blood coming out of that. For the size of these fish, you really don't get a great fillet on them. So obviously, having no flex in this knife, you're missing a lot of meat. So it's not really, when you get that flex on a fillet knife, you can get down behind that backbone and get to the meat, whereas that just kind of missed out on it, and there's not a lot of meat on them as there is. And these scales are very tough on these fish and make a knife very blunt quickly. So you've got to kind of get in behind it. I don't really care too much about this. Last night I took a lot more time because it was all good eating fish, really good eating fish cod. And the other thing is they have a really big rib cage, and so you've got to get over that rib cage, and yeah, you just don't get a lot of meat on them. So anyway, we're just seeing what this knife goes like. It's not my preferred knife for doing this sort of task, obviously, but it is slicey, so it's got that going for it. These things are really quite... The rib cage goes all the way down there too, so it's a massive rib cage on it. And I'm not even going to worry about the belly, couldn't care less. I did with the cod. So it's only for the cat. We're not allowed to chuck those back in the water. See, the rib cage comes all the way down here, so you don't even get any belly. It's all rib cage, right through to there. So all you're getting is that slice of meat in there, and that's nothing on that. Very little meat, so you just got one bit of meat through here. There's not much there on the tail either, and you've got a big backbone to get around. So they're just terrible fish. For the size of the fish, look at the size of the fillet is shocking. So spin this around, it's sloping downhill a bit, so it makes it hard. And it's slippery. That almost slid off and cut me. Yesterday when I had my first fish in, and I was just figuring out what to do with it, and suddenly the other line went off, and I turned and came so close to stabbing myself because I had the knife on me and got all excited. I've got to get rid of that. See, these are a massive fish. I probably should have tried to bleed it out. And it's so hard to get meat on it with a big knife. Oh, this table is really too low. yeah, it's just right. That's that part. When you catch those, you're not allowed to put them back into the water. By law, you have to get rid of it on the bank. So this is going to be the hard part because that's so slippery. And this is where you really need a filleting knife to try and get it against the skin, because on a big knife like this, you just can't get the flex. It's horrible. You can't turn this around. It's virtually impossible. Yeah, you just can't. That's leaving a lot of actual flesh on there, but with a big no flex, you can't get close. All you can do is kind of shave it off. Give that to the birds. Yeah, so they're pretty miserable fillets, even made worse with a big knife like this and trying to do it. So I'm pretty sure if you were skinning something, there's much better knives to use. But for such a big knife, it's not doing too bad, I guess. Slightly different technique on this time, just using the point. It's working a bit better. Just using the point and the belly, and much better. So, you know, you've got to know how to use your knife too. So that one was much better doing it that way, because I was trying to use it like a fillet knife and it wasn't working. So if you just use that, you just use that belly and just the tip and the belly there, you can get it quite flat. That's the way to do it with a big knife. Yeah. So that's all you get. Big fish like that, you just get those fillets. So the second skin was a lot better. Now let's just process this for the cat. The other thing about these carp is that they have a lot of bones, just fine bones in them. And you can feel it just when you're cutting. It doesn't want to cut it very well because you're cutting through all these fine bones. So that cannot be good for a knife to be cutting through. You can just hear it crunching through the bones. And so I'm surprised that cat likes eating it when it's so crunchy. I have tried carp by mistake. I caught a different species in a different river, and I thought it was a perch of some sort. And then when I cooked it, it had all bones and it was all mushy and it just wasn't nice and fleshy. Got to listen for the bells in case I get a bite. So this is the time I caught the big cod last night, but I might have cleaned out the area, I think. I don't know. I'm not going to be greedy though. 2 big fish. That will do me quite nicely. So I might put some pictures up of that eventually. Even when I upload this, I might see if I can figure it out. And then I'll put this in a bucket of water and just get rid of that blood a bit. But you get the idea. It actually does a pretty good job of this. And the skinning wasn't too bad once I just used the tip. So I did it all wrong the first one and it wasn't good. But the second time, if you use the tip, just that part there, it's really got a nice shape to it, and the hollow grind certainly helps. I wouldn't want to use that with the Bramimo or whatever it is, the tops knife, the chemo, Bracamo, whatever it is. I don't even know how to say it. Bracamo, but that would do a terrible job on this. So in some ways I kind of like the hollow grind knife, this sort of stuff, even though it's I don't know if you can hear it crunching through all those fine bones. I've seen dogs just chew on these and eat them whole. But my dog doesn't like fish. It loves it when I catch them because it's all exciting, but she doesn't like to eat the fish. And there we go, almost done. So not bad. The cat meat, better than a kick in the teeth. So there you have it, and I'm going to go down and check my lines, and that's where I cut my hand and stab myself, getting all excited. Righto, yeah, I do recommend this knife from Tassie Tiger. It feels really good in the hand, the grip's just spot on, absolutely spot on. No jimping, sharp enough to scrape wood, and just a lovely profile, recurve profile. And even though it's reasonably thick for mils, because of that large belly and the recurve, you can get some good cutting power into that, and you can use the tip as I did the second time to skin fish, animals, whatever it is. So there we go. Tassie Tiger, I do recommend it. I just wish it was in 9CR18 MOV. Just that little bit higher step for edge retention would be nice, but very effective. out in the field. Thank you and good night.